Years passed, and life moved on like a slow, faithful river. Clara and Tommy grew taller, their laughter brighter, their dreams bigger. Lena still worked at her sewing table every evening, the hum of her old Singer machine blending with the sounds of the radio in the background. She didn't have much, but she had peace, and after everything she'd been through, that was enough, or so she thought. One rainy afternoon, Tommy came home from school, his clothes muddy, his face pale. He handed her a crumpled envelope. "It's a notice," he whispered, "from the bank." Lena unfolded the paper with trembling hands. It was a foreclosure warning. The small home she had paid for, bit by bit, was at risk. She had missed 3 payments. The diner had closed that winter, and sewing alone hadn't been enough. For a long time, she just sat there, completely silent. The clock ticked, the rain tapped softly against the window. All she could think was, not again, not after all this. But then, from the kitchen doorway, Clara spoke softly. "Mama, remember when you said love means fighting harder? Then don't stop fighting now." Lena looked up at her children, no longer the small kids she once carried, but young souls shaped by her strength, and something in her heart reignited. The next morning, she put on her best dress and walked straight to town. She went from shop to shop, offering her services, mending, hemming, sewing, repairing uniforms, fixing curtains. She carried her sewing kit in a small leather bag and said the same words everywhere she went. "I can fix it. Just give me a chance." At first, most said no, but then, one store, Henderson's Cloth and Tailor, a well-known family business, agreed to let her repair a torn wedding gown that no one else could fix. It was delicate, lace from France, impossible to replace. Lena worked for 3 nights straight, her fingers bleeding from the tiny stitches, her eyes straining under the dim lamp. When she brought it back, the owner gasped. "You saved it," he whispered. "It looks brand new." Word spread fast. Soon, she had more work than she could handle. Uniforms for the sheriff's office, dresses for the mayor's wife, even costumes for the school play. By summer, she had paid off the bank every single cent. Years rolled on. Tommy joined the Air Force, just like his mother once had. Clara went to college with a scholarship she earned through her writing. Lena stood on the porch one morning, waving as they left for their new lives. Her heart both proud and aching. That evening, she sat by the pond, same place she had cried so many nights before. She whispered softly to herself, maybe I did enough. Time has a way of rewarding the patient. A few years later, at the annual town fair, the mayor called Lena's name from the stage. She looked around, confused, as people began to clap. He said, "Some heroes don't wear uniforms or make headlines. They just keep going quietly, humbly, until their courage changes lives." The crowd stood, cheering. Tears filled Lena's eyes as she walked up to accept a plaque that read, "In honor of Lena Thompson for her strength, sacrifice, and unseen bravery." For a moment she didn't feel poor or tired, or alone. She felt seen. That night, back home, she took the plaque and placed it beside her children's photos. Then she whispered to the empty room, "James, if you could see us now." She looked around the soft glow of the lamp, the hum of the night outside, the pond shining like glass, and smiled. Because finally, after years of struggle, heartbreak, and sacrifice, Lena had won her quiet victory, not through wealth, not through revenge, but through endurance, love, and faith in herself. And in that small house by the pond, the woman who once thought she'd lost everything had, in truth, gained the one thing that lasts forever: the strength of her silence. Thank you so much for listening to this story. If it resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more tales of quiet strength and resilience. See you next time.